This will be week 3 of season 19 and the third week of the weekly feedback. I am your host, Caveman PRDR, and I want to go over some things. Probably won't be that long, hasn't been not really that much to talk about this week, so we'll get right into it. We'll address some glitch things first. Previous weekend, there was a glitch in Trials where you could turn in flawless cards and still have wins on that card after you picked it back up. That glitch has been fixed. And I'm going to talk about another one on the 22nd, so it may have been Monday or Tuesday. I can't quite remember what day it was now, but there has been another increase in Calabrese and Weasel error codes, I believe. And as far as I'm aware, that has not been addressed yet. We're still having those, and we've actually had them for 3 or 4 days now. So there's some kind of issue with that. And I don't know about you, but I've also been having the same issue with the severe lag in Comp and Trials. I haven't really played Trials this weekend much, but I know I'm having fairly bad lag in Comp, or that the connections are not as good for every party that is in. So I would like to see improvements on that part. The first week of this season, I felt like I had zero problems with this, and ever since the start of week 2, I feel like there has been multiple games where I'm having teammates come in and lag, or enemy players come in and lag. It's not cool, I'm gonna be honest. But it is what it is. Guess I'll just put up with it until they can find a way to fix it. Don't mind me just using Warmind cells in PvE. This hasn't been meta in like 3 years. But we are where we are now. Don't sue me. Or do. Doesn't really matter. So let's talk about, now that a couple of those things are out of the way, let's talk about what the real hot ticket items are for the week. And items being item, and item being me watching my Warmind cell do its own thing. That's actually kind of sort of worrying. I think it's gone sentient. And it exploded. Okay. Or dissipated. Whatever it does. Anyway, now that the entertainment for the night is out of the way, let's talk about the main hot ticket item being the Revision 0. The exotic quest for the Revision 0 has released for the week, and I was able to get one and craft my own. This week, the only thing available to manipulate for the magazine, or for the traits, is the magazine slot, in which I leveled it up to level 7 and got ricochet rounds. Now, I'm gonna give a spoiler warning for the mission line. If you have not played it yet, and you don't want anything spoiled for you, I think it's like pretty safe to say that you can close off the rest of the episode, because I'm probably only going to talk about this and not really anything else. So if you want to avoid spoilers, haven't done it yet, this is going to be the final line for warning. So yeah, let's get into the spoilers. So the quest line, I guess it's going to be a weekly thing now for this exotic mission. Or this exotic mission is going to be a weekly thing, I'm assuming. I'm assuming every week you have catalysts or certain parts of it to unlock, maybe through certain challenges, where you can unlock maybe the catalysts and unlock the slots for the weapon. I have seen, like I mentioned earlier, week 1, we are able to actually craft the weapon, but you can only have the only have the magazine slot available to craft. So I'm assuming over the next 4 or 5 weeks,
Any ideas?
the game is going to slowly let us unlock a column at a time for the gun, so until we can fully craft one that we exactly want. Which is, like, fine by me, I'm not in a big hurry. It is an aggressive, well, its base default is an aggressive frame, so it does have that 4 burst, but it also has a, or the specialty thing about it is that it can swap between a 4 burst and 2 burst mode. And at first I wasn't really impressed about there being a 2 burst mode on it without actually trying it, because I've used Graviton Lance extensively and I was just thinking, oh hey, it's a Graviton Lance, I wouldn't really want to use this for PvP. But I've actually seen from multiple content creators regarding their reviews on the gun, saying basically the 2 burst fire mode is better than the Graviton Lance version. Or Graviton Lances. I guess the TTKs are not the same. And I'm gonna go with their word on it and say that maybe the Revision Zero's 2 burst is better than expected. So that could be the go-to for PvP. I've only tried Revision Zero's 4 burst mode, so maybe I'll do a review on it here in a little while. I'm already backlogged on the new hand cannons. Spoiler alert, I plan on doing a review for those. Probably getting those done as soon as possible, which is very likely this upcoming week. Well, when you're watching this, it'll be today, because I plan on uploading this today. But yeah, that is the kind of the plan. I actually don't know why I'm sitting here killing enemies when I could be going forward. But anyway. Don't mind me, Warmind cells are back. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here. But yeah, Revision Zero, you're slowly unlocking 1 column at a time. So, like I said earlier, this week was the magazines. At some point, it's going to be the barrels, the weapon trait. And we actually get a stock on this, which is pretty cool. Now, with it being the 4 burst aggressive frame, so what I've done, or what I've played in gameplay, I feel like the gun, whenever you're using 4 burst, it has the same weaknesses that the other aggressive frames do, where hitting your minimal TTK, and your minimal TTK is ridiculous. Like, you literally can 2 burst any resilience, but you have to hit like 6 out of 8 crits or 7 out of 8 crits, something like that. I didn't actually run the numbers myself. Feel free to tell me I'm wrong if you think I'm wrong, but I know you have to hit a lot of crits out of 8. And that is not something I am good with on the aggressive frames. If you are, good for you. I'm on controller, I'm not. So, generally, I'm having to use the 3rd burst to kill someone, which means it kind of gets rid of the usefulness of the minimal TTK when I can't hit the minimal TTK. And then I have to deal with the other weaknesses of the archetype, which generally include handling. And yeah, so when I craft this gun, I'm going to approach my crafting to it differently than I usually do with guns, because it's an archetype I don't usually use. At least for the 2 burst mode, anyway. So, I'm thinking that I'm going to build into handling as much as possible. Will this be the play? I hope so. The handling's not going to affect the TTK whatsoever, but it's going to cover up one of the problems that I have with the archetype. I can't really change my ability to be effective with the minimal TTK. Maybe I could build into stability, and maybe that would help. But I think stability is only going to help my shots so much, so I might as well build into handling and Maybe I can ADS first, at least. But, draw and ADS, maybe that will be, my best fix for it. It's not that the gun is bad, because it's not. It actually has, it's actually got some of the best traits in the game. Which includes Hunter's Trace. This weapon fires shield-piercing ammunition. Precision hits grant targeting data. Targeting data is a small bar that appears at the bottom left of my screen. You can press the reload button. You can pretty much hold the reload button to swap to the alternate scope when you have those when you have enough targeting data. It loads in high-end damage rounds based on the amount of targeting data, and this weapon is strong against barrier champions. So, in my opinion, I think it can be a good weapon. PvE and PvP. It literally has a built-in win condition for PvP. There are people that are literally calling it the Hake Moon because it is a Hake weapon, and it has a built-in win condition where if you do the precision shots, you can pretty much one-crit. It's supposed to act like a sniper rifle, but it ends up shooting like a scout, or it ends up feeling like a scout whenever it converts over to the alternate firing mode. Or when it converts to that Hunter's Trace mode, basically. That's what I'll call it. I don't actually know what it's called. But anyway, it has a built-in win condition. As long as the gun has like even remote strength, I'm expecting to see this in PvP for the rest of the season. But yeah, there's the Hake Light Burst Fire mode, which is the aggressive first burst fire, and then there's the Hake Heavy Burst Fire, which I'm told is pretty decent in PvP. I may try this, but we'll save that for the review. Hake Burst Fire mode fires less stable 2 burst, high damage, high range rounds. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. I haven't been completely sold the exotic yet, but I know it's decent in PvE. I think it's pretty decent in PvE. I'm pretty sure this is something like it has built-in anti-barrier rounds. I know the seasonal artifact is already anti-barrier sniper. Or not anti-barrier sniper, sorry, anti-barrier pulse rifle. I know the season is anti-barrier pulse rifle in the artifact, but whenever that is no longer the case and you want to rock a pulse rifle, Revision Zero's got you covered for the future. I just think it's going to be pretty decent, in my opinion. But yeah, that's pretty much it for as far as covering the weapon itself. I want to talk about the actual mission itself. In my opinion, I probably mentioned this earlier. I think the mission is actually kind of fun. It features mechanics from the Deepstone Crypt raid, which, in my opinion, is probably my favorite raid. I really did not start raiding in D2 at all until around the time Deepstone Crypt released. And to be honest, it's probably my favorite. It's probably the raid I have the most fun playing. I really like VOG, but I feel like I don't know. I just like Deepstone Crypt more. I think it's more aesthetically pleasing. I think it's fun, and I really like the mechanics for it. And the reason I bring that up is because the quest for the Revision Zero borrows from the mechanics of the Deepstone Crypt raid. But they do it in such a way where you can solo the activity. It doesn't require a group. Unlike DSC does. So it borrows from it. It doesn't exactly copy for paste on every single thing in terms of how it actually works in DSC. But it does a pretty good job of giving you an idea of what it's like. And this is something Bungie's been doing for a little while now with the missions, like the Val the Disciple raid, we have the Preservation mission drop, and that shows you how what is not technically the first encounter, or what people don't consider the first encounter, where you're just outside gathering the knowledge drops. It introduces that. So that's how the Preservation mission goes. This C kind of shows you how the operator, or how operator, scanner, and suppressor work. And I really like that. I think it is I think it's a very good reimplementation of it. And it's actually not too short of a mission either. You can probably still get pretty fast runs of like 20-something minutes maybe. But for me it takes like 20, 30 if I'm really churning through it. So it's not like it's a short little quest. I personally enjoy it. It reminds me of Harbinger and Presage. Those types of missions. Ones I really enjoyed. But yeah, as far as the that's pretty much it for the Revision Zero and the missions that I really wanted to talk about this week. I'm looking forward to doing more of this in the coming weeks to craft a role. Like I said earlier, I'm thinking that I want to invest into stability and handling. Definitely handling, so that way I can at least have the weapon ready and stowed faster. In ADS faster than I can, or than other people can with their weapons, to give it some kind of advantage. So we'll see how that goes during a review for it. This won't be a review for it. Just wanted to talk about the mission, and that's pretty much going to be it for me this week regarding the weekly feedback. If you have any questions or comments about the content, let me know. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, and have a good day.